Phil Spencer is making the rounds again, and this time he sat down with The Verge and spoke about Xbox branding, Xbox Game Pass and Xcloud coming to your TV. Welcome everybody and thank you for joining me. So Phil Spencer had a very interesting interview with The Verge where he spoke about a number of things. They discussed everything from the current state of gaming to Game Pass, exclusives, branding, Xcloud and even fanboys. Now there were a few things that stood out to me in this interview that I wanted to go over. The first thing is Phil Spencer saying that the Xbox app will be coming to TVs. Now this is obviously important because he tells us where Phil Spencer and Xbox's headspace is at when it comes to the future of gaming and how we will be gaming in the future. So let's go over his statement and then we can break it down. So the interviewer asked Phil Spencer, what is stopping you from saying, okay, Xbox is an app, it has minimum hardware specs and we're just going to run it on a smart TV? To which Phil Spencer responds, I think you're going to see that in the next 12 months. I don't think anyone is going to stop us from doing that. I thought what you said about the TV was spot on. What we used to call a TV was a CRT, that's just throwing an image on the back of a piece of glass that I'm looking at. Now as you said, a TV is really more of a gaming console stuffed behind the screen that has an app platform and a Bluetooth stack and streaming capability. Is it really a TV anymore, or is it just a form and function of devices that we used to have around our TV consolidated into one big screen that I'm looking at? Now it does go into more detail about other streaming services like Hulu and Netflix and how their streaming service will be similar to that, but that was the most important part. Having an Xbox app on your TV and then getting access to Xcloud open up a whole new demographic. And speaking of demographics, a big reason why Xbox is focusing on an ecosystem that includes mobile and PC is because the demographic of people who buy consoles go up every year. The player base ages with the console. For instance, if the average age of a console player was 25 during the launch of the Xbox One for example, those same people then buy the Series X 7 years later, pushing that average up. There is no massive influx of young people buying consoles, be that PlayStation or Xbox. The younger player base gravitates towards mobile gaming. That is why we are seeing mobile game developers like Supercell make $2.1 billion and we see companies like King make $2 billion and the list just goes on and on. Xcloud gives Xbox a chance to tap into that market, and making the Xbox app available on TVs just gives Xbox a chance to grow their ecosystem even more. Now obviously that does not mean that consoles will just die out. When laptops first made it onto the scene, we've seen many people say that desktops will die out, but there will always be those people who want powerful hardware, especially amongst gamers, and consoles is no different, and Phil Spencer makes that clear by stating that as long as there will be a desire for powerful gaming hardware, they will keep reducing it. Now they also spoke about Game Pass, which is obviously a massive investment for Xbox that they are banking on, and if they truly want to expand their ecosystem through cloud streaming, Game Pass will play an important part towards that ultimate goal of having a Netflix-like service for video games. And then they also spoke a bit about the branding of Xbox. Obviously launching two consoles with two different names can be very confusing, but Phil Spencer compares that to the Apple iPhone and the Plus. Once you see it in the store you will know the difference. Then he also spoke about fanboys and the tribalism that exists. He said he finds toxic brand loyalty to be distasteful and despises the ideas that companies like Microsoft have to see others fail in order to achieve their goal. That tribalism in the industry, if there was anything that would ever drive me out of the industry, it is actually that. When a team releases something on the market for the world to tear it apart on the internet, it's just such a brave thing for a team to do. I'm never going to vote against any creative team or any product team to do poorly because I have a competitive product. It's not in me. I don't actually think it helps us in the long run in the industry, and I agree with that very much. I've never understood that. There is nothing wrong with having a favorite platform. I do. It's Xbox. On PC, when it comes to brands, it's Nvidia for GPUs, but I also understand the need for competition, and we should celebrate when a competitor does well. I do not have to own a PlayStation to be a fan fan of what they do and value their contribution to gaming. Their dedication to massive third-party games drive Xbox to buy more studios and build massive games. Xbox Game Pass is now driving Sony to compete in that space, and that is good for everybody. Blind brand loyalty is not. But on that note, this is where I'm going to end it. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. And as always, please remember to stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and I hope to see you again soon.